We actually are the region of peaches. It's ridiculous.
Honestly.
I'm not complaining. I love her. All right. Fritz versus ChocoTaco.
We got zoners. So we're going to see a bunch of fire everywhere, from fire arrows, fire PK fire.
Yeah. It seems like the right there, though, the PK fire and the fire arrows seems like to negate each other in a sense. So you see the down tilt into fair. I like the patience already that Fritz is displaying with Choco, finding his way in.
Yeah, I'm not sure the experience that Choco probably has with Youngling, especially since I don't think we really have one in the region that I can think of.
Like one that plays the character
Besides
consistently.
Fritz,
Yeah. Not that I know of. Ooh, catching
good
Choco
combo.
though with the up B.
Because that's also the thing with Youngling, like he does have some good, nice combos.
Oh yeah.
The kill power kind of lacked a little bit. You have to get some moves right, maybe.
The up B by the blast zone though.
Yeah.
Although I feel like in this matchup in particularly, it's more risky for Youngling to be put in a position off stage next to Lucas like that than Lucas being in that position to get caught by the up B. Be a lot more intimidated by Lucas offset. Oh, he just completely missed that tether. That was weird because the tether literally just jumped by the ledge like that.
Yeah, sometimes Tether just decide to say no for some reason.
Oh yeah, you would know.
that even happens with me. Like I don't even understand. Like sometimes it just doesn't connect.
And down smash, yeah. Sometimes when you want to jump by the ledge like that, you have to wait out the whole move because then you're going to get caught by multi-hits like that.
I know Fritz was trying to be careful because so like you had a fresh stock, 145 Lucas, you could just run off Nair, probably would have taken that, but he took it now, so we're pretty much a dead even, more or less.
You gotta run up, drift with the Nair, try to cross him up right there. He does the up B again out of shield.
With back air this time instead of up air. Got some nice parries. I see Fritz getting some hits here and there, but not like converting them into actual like combos and building up the momentum that this game desperately wants from you.
And this is the hard. I was gonna say this is the scary part versus Lucas that I was talking about. Just being off stage versus this character can be so peeving, especially as Young Link. I mean, you do have a tether to mix up your own recovery, but if Choco keeps you on the ledge like that, especially with down smash or PK Thunder, it could be quite a peeving to get back. Ooh, down tilt? Okay, I see you, Choco.
Yeah, there you go. That's one thing you could definitely do.
To interrupt the PK Thunder there.
Just anything, like just throw it off, make him do something defensively, so that way you could just grab ledge, and by the time he's starting something, you're already grabbed it, and you could just get up attack.
And now he keeps him in the air with the up airs. And the bat actually, being the fact that Young Link is going to be messing around with projectiles, Choco timing his bat perfectly to actually reflect the projectiles back. There. Got the wait too, waiting to see what Fritz was going to do, so that's why you saw him go for that up air instead. That's Zaire completely ignoring the projectile and actually hitting Fritz too.
Oh, he didn't need it. Okay, just went through, I guess.
No, but yeah, either way, it stalled him in the air, so it allowed him to get back safer. Oh, there he ate it. Oh, it wasn't worth it, though. It was not worth that percent.
If anything, maybe taking the bomb DIing out would have brought him a little bit upwards and still be alive, but like, if you play Lucas or Ness, like, you got to have those things down, and not saying Choco doesn't, but that was a really hard angle to get through.
Yeah, he was kind of below the stage at the same time. Regardless, though, he is on his last stock, basically fresh. Fritz, though, sitting on 80% basically here. And notice how Choco's not even jumping. He's just waiting patiently. Right. I feel like he's actually trying to bait Fritz to try to contest him on the platform there. Now keeping Fritz off stage. We have an opposite situation here. He does the back throw.
Ooh, he's doing it a little bit too early.
Those magnet hands, though, like basically teleport onto the ledge.
Yeah, I think PK Fire by ledge might just do it, unless the eye is like the best.
Or he keeps contesting him with these up airs. Choco finding his way back onto the ground regardless.
And he's at 104 already. Well, I didn't even notice.
Last stock, last hit situation. I do feel like Young Link keeping Choco by the ledge could be pretty fatal. See the Nair coming out?
Oh no.
That PK Fire that you were talking about.
Yeah, because Lucas can also like throw something at you so you don't prepare anything. Even though Young Link, I don't know what you could really compare.
The up air, yup. And he's been fishing for those up airs too. And I feel like although Choco was hanging around the platform a few times and even jumping around Fritz stayed grounded for the most part. And we saw a few conversions where he did down tilt into up air, and it actually worked. It prevented Choco from actually landing safely. But Choco actually, he managed to get back onto the ground, but the moment he got back into the ground, he like cycled again, where he kept hanging out by the platform, kept jumping around Fritz, until Fritz eventually caught him with the up air at roughly higher percent than before.
Yeah, and even thinking back to like Smash 4 days, I know Fritz, as Toon Link, like, he was a very defensive player. Like, he didn't like just rush in the whole time. So in my mind, like, seeing that match, I'm just thinking like, oh, you maybe need a little bit more movement, but like, no, like, doing just fine.
He actually stood still for a good portion of that match.
Exactly.
There was a time where Choco actually waited it out, and he saw Fritz spot dodge, and he knew that Fritz was going to hold shield at that point, so he went for a grab. But I feel like at this point, after losing from that up air, when he had such a pretty, I would say a stock lead at one point, we're probably going to see a different pacing of the match on Choco's part.
Right, so FD, you know, I think it kind of just helps both of them.
Yeah, it helps both these
no matter which
characters.
stage, it's just going to be the same projectile versus projectile. Though there is no platform now. So
yeah, to mix up your landing. So if
Yeah.
anything, I feel like seeing how Fritz is playing a pretty grounded, I feel like at the same time, Choco actually takes advantage more of his projectiles and keeping Fritz trying to mix him up by jumping around him with Nair, as you saw right there. A little bit more in terms of like using his aerials.
Yeah.
He used his jump there too. Yeah.
There's nothing.
Yeah, there was nothing. He didn't have a bomb either. It's all good though. Coming back, Choco is at 117%. We've seen him come back from something similar to this in that last game.
Right, it's not definitely something that you can just do a move and then you just suddenly die.
Oh, the angle on that PK freeze though. He started it from the right side of him, and he still managed to swing all the way back to the left side. And now that lead that we were talking about has just widened its gap here.
Gone. And I don't think there's really anything that Young Link like has like a quick option to kill like a relatively like a gimp. Like for example, like normal Link has down air spike. You know, like trying to set something up. I don't really think that Young Link has something like that. So like this whole stock, he needs to go all the way to like 130% minimum.
Yeah, and as you were mentioning, since he is a patient player, when you're down a stock like this, you can't afford to really play patiently like this, because at that point you are forced to approach, because now Choco is in the lead.
Right.
So actually, he's turning up pretty well though with his
moving.
aggressive options. You know, he's not trying to overextend. Notice how he stops, and he's not trying to hold forward here with his aerials. Oh, the boomerang.
That might have done it. That might have actually done it if he got it. Very nice. Stop him from getting some health.
I feel like he's actually starting to bait him to try to take on the bombs, and then just throwing out his boomerang. And from there, he can actually get a conversion off of his boomerang.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Into an up air, perhaps, actually, or even a fair.
That might have worked if you fast fell that, but...
Oh, he's trying to close out the stock with down air. Don't know if you want to really just narrow your options to that, though.
Yeah. Because that's the thing that I was mentioning about kill power. Like, there's really only a certain number of moves that could really do something. Down air is one of them. Up air, fair, and anything besides a smash attack, nothing. See, like that was another part. Like, there's PK freeze, just run off Nair. That might be just the thing you needed, because I don't think you can explode it immediately, right? A PK freeze.
I think he's just respecting the move, because he died from it twice already in this game. So it could be that he's just respecting it, although I feel like if he just jumped around it, he could punish him off stage for it.
Right.
Now, I mean, he did it twice. I don't know if he's going to do it a third time here. I mean, he is at 194. Although on his second stock, he may just risk it. Got the PK fire though, sniping him by the blast zone. And at 194, people tend to forget Rage is still a thing in this game, and it's still pretty relevant, I would say. You know, when you get hit by Snake up tilt, regardless, and you're like at 95%, and he's like at 154, it's actually a scary situation, because there's, depending on the character that you are and depending on your weight, that could be death.
Honestly.
Maybe even less than that. I wouldn't even be surprised. But yeah, Rage is still a really relevant thing in this game that I feel like none of my new people actually like pay attention to. It's like, oh yeah, it's not as bad as Smash 4, but like I think
still there. I think this Rage is what should have been in Smash 4. Like, it's not something that it's like so noticeable.
Rewards
that's
the loser significantly.
Yeah.
I definitely agree on that. No, I just could feel like Fritz is like, okay, don't get hit by PK, but I also feel like FD contributed to that.
Yeah.
He didn't really have the platforms to mix up his own landing. Oh, now we're back on
there it
Battlefield. I actually agree with this pick.
And it also kind of helps that you can angle Boomerang a little bit. So like even if like we're just having Choco went up there, you can still just bounce it off the floor.
Oh, he was ready for it though. He held shield.
I kind of noticed like throughout the set, like for instance, when Choco's, oh no, please no. Oh,
He jumped perfectly into that.
yeah, he got that read good. But as I was saying, like the Boomerang, like he throws it when Choco's at ledge, and then he just runs in. If I would probably like try to mix that up with just waiting for the Boomerang to come back, because it's gonna hit him if it comes back, or he shields or he jumps, so it forces something instead of just running in.
Oh, Fritz used his double jump there. He does. Oh, actually, it's just the ground, I guess.
Yeah, I thought
It looked like he got hit out of it. Regardless, though, he's still off stage, and the PK fire again, sniping him into the blast zone.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on through his head. Like I know, like normally, like when I get hit and I go far, like I do a move just so I'm not like in that tumble animation. I don't know. There's something subconscious maybe, but throwing out a move makes you do something which cannot make you block. So, or air dodge.
Exactly, and you know something that a lot of people actually don't know about it is when you walk, your shield comes out faster than if you dash into shield, because you actually have to wait for the initial frames of your dash to end before you could press the shield button.
Right.
So walking is still good in this game, even though you could do anything out of dash, just not shield. Yeah, dash attack instead. Boomerang coming out.
See, like right there, he froze. Oh.
Yeah, and that's actually what you were talking about right there. You know, the Boomerang coming back, forcing an option regardless. He didn't get the grab, even though he was on the ledge there, and I feel like it's just because he's trying to play. Oh, the double parry! You deserve that. You deserve that, Choco.
That was good. That was good. I can't say no to that. I can't. Uh-oh. Okay, good.
Oh, they're completely ignoring that fire arrow too.
Ooh, Choco. Okay, he has a jump, so he didn't have to make some weird angle.
Yeah, no. Tossed up. He's playing extremely patient, but at 120.
Ooh.
Oh, if he had parried that last hit, though.
Yeah, that was probably forward smash or forward tilt at least.
Even up smash, too.
You think so?
120 at 166 range.
it has a nice bit of bend lag, you're right. But links up there. Up to there. Okay. Raid push 178. Yeah.
Tippy toe touch. Pretty convincing game 3.
Smirking.
Wait, he's just pulling his hand out.